You don't have to be a genius to realize why I'm counting to 10. I have chosen the terms for the match at Vengeance. And this Sunday, vengeance will be mine. Because this Sunday, for the WWE Championship, John Cena faces Alberto Del Rio in a last man standing match.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your host, Ferran Derry.
Sit down, shut up, and listen up.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. John Cena announcing down at Raw in Mexico City this past Monday. Well, taped this past the weekend prior, but yes, airing of course after the fact. Yes, that this Sunday night, tomorrow night, the Vengeance pay-per-view WWE title match will be a last man standing match, and Cena has already shown that he's dominating. Are we going to see yet another John Cena championship tomorrow night? What would it be? Number, I've lost count, 10, 11, 12, with minimal build-up? Interesting. We'll have to see. Looking at the rest of the lineup real quick, and then we'll get back to the phones. You've got 8 matches announced, which it's the first time in a long time we've had that many matches announced prior to the pay-per-view starting, as opposed to some surprises. You've got Christian taking on Sheamus in a one-on-one match. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, they're continuing their feud. For the U.S. title, you've got Dolph Ziggler defending the U.S. title against Zack Ryder. Woo, 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 you know it. And Ziggler doing double duty as he and Jack Swagger are teaming up to challenge Air Boom for the tag team titles. You've also got Beth Phoenix defending the Divas Championship against Eve Torres. You've got the interesting profile match of Triple H and CM Punk against Miz and R-Truth, who've lost a little bit of steam over the course of the last couple of weeks. Del Rio defending the WWE title against John Cena in that last man standing match. And, of course, Mark Henry against The Big Show. The Battle of the Big Men. Vince McMahon must be grinning with pride somewhere for the World Championship. All of my predictions starting to go wrong going in the next segment. For now, though, let's get back to the phones, where we've got Ron. Ron, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Hey, Ferran, how are you doing? I love the show.
Thank you much. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Just a quick compliments and comments. I love the show last week with the Coffee with Kahuna, and you should definitely change your name from Ferran to For Real, because you bring it every week. This is great. I love the interview with Kurt Angle. It was awesome. Just the way he talked about his injuries and how he couldn't take any cortisone. I mean, it just makes you wonder how much pain these guys definitely, go through the whole day and go through the whole match to deal with all that pain.
Yeah, I mean, and that was something obviously with Olympic sanctions, referring to, for those of you who missed it last week, Kurt Angle. He had interviewed with Coffee with Kahuna a week ago Friday and talked about how, because of the various regulations that they have in the Olympics, that he had to have his broken neck at the time injected with Novocaine before each wrestling match to kind of block out the pain. Yeah, and I mean, it was a really cool deal. It was a great interview. I've got a couple coming up from when I was at Sinomania. I still have to do a little bit of cleaning up, and I'm going to hype those up. Coming up in November, I'll start rolling those out. But I talked with Hall of Famer Tony Atlas for a couple of minutes. I was able to talk with Nelson Frazier, who you might remember as Viscera, Mabel, Big Daddy V. So I had a few minutes with him. Some interesting words of wisdom. I don't know if... I think maybe about 10% of it can make air with the Hall of Fame wrestler and manager Johnny Valiant, Luscious Johnny V. And I had a nice, in-depth, roughly 10-minute interview with Lex Luger, the total package. So all those are going to be coming up over the course of the next month, 6 weeks or so, something like that. I just got to do a little bit of cleaning up, making sure they're all good to go. Should be good times.
You watched that match with Angle and Rude on Sunday?
Yes, I was in attendance at Bound for Glory at the Leacourse Center down in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir. Cool.
The old Temple U stomping grounds.
Yeah, that's where I used to go. Well, back in the day, but that's like 20 years back.
Yeah,
it's great. It's great, man. Atmosphere down there. It's great.
Yeah, although I didn't realize the draft horses apparently closed on Sunday, so I wasn't able to pregame over there. Although there was traffic, I wasn't able. I barely got down there for the 8:00 bell time because of traffic anyway. Wasn't planning on that accident on Route 1, but these things, they happen.
I hear you. Well, look, all the best to you in the show. It's a great show. I'm going to definitely keep listening every week now.
Oh, thank you, Ron. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good one.
No problem. Thank you. Always good to get some new listeners in. Definitely like expanding and taking things. Taking this ride as far as it can go. Right? Well, we go from one Ron to another. Ron, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
How you doing this week?
Good. What's going on?
I'm not echoing.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I hope this week I'm not echoing.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, because I was afraid I was echoing. The Hulk Hogan situation, everybody predicted he would be a babyface again, and I was like shocked. It started there. But I mean, I guess it's going to happen in Philly. The only thing is, are they going to turn again? Everybody's going to. There was his the Kurt Angle on. Are they going to challenge him now? Hopefully, Flair going to challenge him again for a match.
I don't. Well, no. I think I don't know where you exactly go with Hogan at this point. It's obviously he's going to be out there in some regard, but I think what surprised me most about Hogan, I mean, we knew. I mean, I've chronicled many a time over the course, the weeks leading up to the pay-per-view. I've chronicled all of his injuries. I've chronicled the age, and you know what? Hogan proved me wrong. I mean, he went in there, and I mean, he even took a couple of back bumps, and I'll eat crow for questioning whether or not he'd be able to do it. I mean, and he pretty much said as such. I'm quickly pulling up his tweets to kind of.
You remember me saying to you that the time a few weeks back that. That came out, and then Eric Bischoff, and then we're talking afterward. I don't know if that was preset then, that he was going to turn then, or what. I mean, he told the fans he was actually happy the fans were back. They were saying Hogan, and then all of a sudden come out Thursday night, and you heard them, they actually welcomed him again. I don't know if it's going to be how long till it lasts. I got a feeling it's not going to last very long. I just got this odd feeling this is a setup again. I mean, he did this once before when he was in the NWO. It was a big setup. And I just got a feeling it's going to be a big setup again.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, from a storyline standpoint, it doesn't make a lick of sense. And I think we, a lot of us know that for sure. I mean, considering that he's been a bad guy for the last year and just kind of out of nowhere, given everything that's gone on over the course of the last 6 weeks, it was one of those where you knew it was going to happen and you thought it was cool, but if you try to analyze it and make sense of it, you can't do it.
I know. I don't make sense of it. I don't think also make sense that James Storm won the title. I mean, I actually saw the writing. I figured it was going to happen, but I just didn't think it would happen right after the pay-per-view. And I would think that they would James Storm against Robbie Roode, but I guess I was predicting that one wrong too. I just didn't think Kurt Angle would just drop it to James Storm just like that. I thought we'd take time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was for injury standpoints. I mean, you saw the taped hamstring. I mean, that hamstring is hurting and then some. I mean,
isn't Kurt Angle going to be in the Olympics very soon? And that's why they dropped in the belt, because the fact that he's going to be in the Olympics.
Well, he's training for the Olympics, and that has part of it. But I mean, he's also, he's also obviously injured from. From something. He said it was from training, but he didn't say what exactly.
I don't see how far he can get in the Olympics if he's hurting. I don't see him. He said he's going to be. He wants to get back to his old form. I don't think he can do it. Remember, he broke his neck when he was in the Olympics before. What could happen this time? I mean, these guys are not like these professional wrestlers. They're amateur wrestlers that can hurt him. He's not young anymore.
Well, again, so we said it with Scott Hall, and in this case, it kind of applies with Kurt Angle as well. What he was able to do 16 years ago, or 15 years ago at this point, at 27 years of age. Whole different ball game when you're 43. I mean, just from a physical standpoint.
Well, the wrestlers today are not like they were years ago when I first watched wrestling years ago. I mean, the old guys can do it, but the old.
Well, I'm talking about the Olympics as well. I mean.
Oh, I know. Yeah, right. I agree with you there. But I mean, I'm just looking at a standpoint. I mean, the wrestlers back then, you had like T.J. Somal, they could wrestle and take a beating. I mean, now if they were wrestling today, forget it. I mean, I look at Kevin Nash. He's even slower than he was back then.
Yeah, he had a bit of a surge. According to Angle, I mean, this was from a tweet about 4 days ago. It says, "Great pay-per-view last night. Bobby Roode, one of the best wrestlers today. I am still going for Olympics, only taking 1 week off to heal hamstring." So, I mean, although you saw in that match, I mean, that only went, a minute and a half maybe, and he maybe 2 minutes tops, and he lost the
I know, I didn't think you would drop it that quick. That's my opinion. I thought I would at least give it a month or two, or maybe another pay-per-view, not on a live TV. I mean, it's like that time Samoa Joe, when he lost he won on live TV, but I mean, they didn't give him time either to win it. He won it that quick. I mean, this is the quickest they've won. Even with the women, when Mickie James won her belt back and then lost it again, and it's like back and forth. I mean, WWE doesn't even do that with a major belt. They don't drop it on TV like the major belt on TV like they used to.
Yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher. I mean, the only thing that would be more confusing is if they'd had a title change at a house show, which we haven't seen in probably close to 15 years. Anyway, Ron, I got to get rolling. I'm up against it.
Right,
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it as always. Going to take care of our second and final timeout here. When we come back, I'll give my predictions certain to go wrong for the Vengeance lineup, as well as some news and notes. We've also got Today in Wrestling History. And we've also got Fred on the line, and then you, 215-949-3232, or toll-free at 888-922-2149. Those are the ways to get to us via the phone lines, or if you're a little hesitant, a little scared to hop on the lines, a little intimidated by live radio, you can't sound any worse than I can, trust me. Well, okay, maybe, but that's a whole other story. But you can log on to Facebook. Check out our Facebook fan page, WBCB Pro Wrestling Weekly, and like us there, and you can certainly put a post on the wall. We'll get it on the air. Get your thoughts and opinions out there for people to hear. And working on a couple of things as far as posting archives. I think we might be able to get something going with YouTube. Don't have anything totally set up yet, but I think in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to start getting archives of shows up on YouTube. I already have the YouTube name Pro Wrestling Weekly all set to go, but I'm not exactly a tech head, so as I get that figured out, we'll go from there. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.